Our God knows no borders. Our world is facing a refugee crisis. Around the world, persecution, human rights disasters, and political violence are raging on. In the past 5 years, 2 million children were born as refugees. Over 117 million people have been forced out of their homes and the lives they knew. The island of Lesvos in Greece is one of the key entry points for people from all over the world seeking refuge through Europe. And over half of them are children. They've traveled through life-threatening conditions to get here.
Hi, my name is Aida. Growing up at the People's Church, God's call to love the stranger and to love your neighbor as yourself always stood out to me. But what does that really look like today? I want to invite you to join me on an incredible journey to listen, learn, and to see what God is doing. Over the next 3 episodes, we'll meet refugees here on the island of Lesvos, and we'll also meet our global partners from International Association for Refugees. Together, we'll discover how even in the most challenging places, God is here. Currently, we are on Lesvos, which is a Greek island close to Turkey. And so behind me somewhere here is the camp, the place where a lot of individuals are able to come and begin their journey to other parts of the world.
When refugees eventually find safety here, they're met by teams from our global partner, International Association for Refugees, working with their local partner, Eurorelief, to welcome and provide care. To get a better understanding of the situation, I'm looking forward to sitting down with a few asylum seekers to hear their stories.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I'm good. How are you?
Good, my name is Aida. What's your name?
My name is Qasim.
Qasim.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So where are you from?
I'm from Syria.
So how long ago did you come to the camp?
Almost 2 months.
Almost 2 months?
Yeah.
Do you have a big family in Syria?
Yeah. We're 5, 2 sisters,
Okay.
2 brothers. I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest one. So the youngest one is 15.
Wow.
Yeah. This is.
Oh, that's so sweet. And this picture is in Syria?
Yeah. Syria.
Oh, that's so kind.
Thanks so much.
I was also given the opportunity to sit with Sama, who recently arrived from Iraq with her husband and young children, to hear about her motivation to flee from home.
Someone man in Iraq, very dangerous for me and family.
Okay.
Very dangerous.
What hopes or dreams do you have for your children?
Good future, study and good job, and peace, safe peace, because in Iraq not safe, not very bad.
As I also listened to Hassan share about life in Afghanistan, his willingness to risk everything for the sake of his children was a story I realized could be found throughout the camp.
I have 3 daughters, 10 years old, and 5 and 3 years old. As you know, Taliban don't allow that daughter after 6th class couldn't study, couldn't go to a school or university. And also another reason that is we don't have any clear future. Me and my wife have a good jobs, have a good salary, home, don't have any problems. But after the fall in the government, all things changes.
Wow.
Yeah. My wife lost his jobs. I lost my jobs, and all of things changes.
Wow.
With millions on the move for the first time every year, I was curious about what was behind the forced displacement.
I think in some ways there's been an ongoing refugee crisis kind of consistently throughout the years. And so I think it's really a mix of things. It's political unrest, it is conflict, it's persecution, it's even climate change and just the effects of drought and fires and things that are happening and impacting communities where life isn't sustainable in other places. But yeah, I think the stories that people share are leaving situations where it is no longer viable for them to live. It isn't safe for them or their families.
So as you meet lots of children and their families, what kind of vulnerabilities do you see?
Yeah. So many. Like I worked with a Syrian Kurdish family that I was really close with back in the early days, and they told me a lot about their journey here and how they climbed over the mountains from Syria into Turkey. And so they faced like starvation and dehydration and like almost didn't make it. So just lack of access to basic resources, inadequate shelter, kind of unsafe living locations. A lot have been exposed to like exploitation and abuse. So there have been families who've been abused by the smugglers, who've kind of forced them to do different things.
So you're here in Greece and Lesvos at the camp by yourself, and your wife and your children are still back in Afghanistan, correct? So how come they're still back there?
No, I just by myself traveled to the Greece because I couldn't bring my family because the way is very dangerous. From Afghanistan to the Iran don't have any problem because the Iran country will give the visa. But after the Iran illegal come to the Turkey from the mountain, from the sea and from the different way, as sometimes faced to the police of Iran, police of Turkey, that is a big problem for the family. Because I'm single, no problem that if any hurt, any problem I can't face, no problem, but my family, my kids, is impossible that face to this problem,
Wow.
And after that is from Turkey to Greece is also, I come from by boat, and I want that family face to this problem.
I've heard of people who've flown to Turkey. I've heard of people who have ridden on trucks. Some have even walked. So there's a lot of different ways that people get to Turkey, but people who come to Lesvos all come by boat. It's all run by smugglers, so there are people who have come in like speedboats actually, but that's going to be a way higher price to pay. The far majority of people are coming in rubber dinghies, and they're, ranges from 20 to 30 people, I would say, per boat.
Wow.
As Kasim and I spoke about the risks and dangers of the sea, he opened up about some of the costs of making the journey.
So you said it was really expensive to come. How much, what is the cost of coming here?
$1,000.
Pardon?
$10,000.
$10,000 American.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So I can't imagine that being easy for a lot of people to gather that amount of money, especially if you have your whole family.
Yeah, you gotta sell a lot of, you gotta sell your house, anything you had or you have back home, which is even lands, a house or something like that, or borrow some money from your relatives outside the country. They've been living outside for a long time, which is, it is so hard to get money by yourself.
So along the way, you also said there's militia and there's people. So do you also have to pay them on top of the 10,000?
Not really. You gotta hide it from them. You gotta, you gotta pay for some who can help you.
As I listened to Kasim and others share their stories, it struck me that for so many who come to this island, home is a dry land with little water, let alone vast and dangerous seas.
This year alone, the camp has seen over 14,000 refugees come from Turkey, and all of them have come on a lifeboat from Turkey all the way to Lesbos. And this includes a lot of children, babies, elderly individuals, and people who don't have the physical ability to swim. So there's tons of thousands of other people who have not been able to make it to Lesbos and have unfortunately died in the journey trying to make it from Greece to reach Europe and to reach the island. So coming to Lesbos and coming from Turkey is a year-long activity. It doesn't just begin in the summer and stop when it's winter. And a lot of the individuals who come in the winter get to the shore in freezing conditions and are shivering, cold, don't know where to go, might not even know where on the island they are. And so all along the coastline, you would be able to see small campfires and little areas where people would huddle together close to create heat within themselves and warm up from the cold water. So as much as there is beauty, there's also so much sadness in being here and witnessing where these people come to.
The beauty of this shoreline has been restored, but only a few years ago, with more than 3,000 people a day arriving, it was lined with abandoned rubber dinghies and life jackets. So much so that as time wore on, the dumping grounds became known by the locals as Life Jacket Mountain.
This area here is full of dreams, full of the things that they've left behind, and it's very heartbreaking to see all these things and think these are lives and stories that we might not ever be told, and we might not ever know where these people are. And so I don't know, I can't help but wonder of all the stories of the people that are here and whether they'll be able to reach their dreams and where they are today. So to be here and see all these things just absolutely breaks my heart.
Through their work here in Greece, our partners are able to act on God's calling to love the stranger in real physical and emotional and spiritual ways.
One of our mandates within Eurolife is to help displaced people by caring for them, by loving them, by creating spaces for them. Like we do that in women's community, where they can come and relax. We also do that in food lines, where that can be really chaotic when it comes to maybe what are traditional ways of how you care for someone spiritually. Places like women's community or men's community or social care, where it is about focusing on the individual, the person, caring for them, definitely does foster and care for people in those ways.
What has been the most rewarding aspect of being here?
I really think it's the relationships with residents in camp, and just getting to be a small part of their journey, and see the positive impact that we can have by just showing up and caring. Yeah, that's been really, really huge. Yeah.
Creator God, we hear your call to love the stranger. Help us to hear your voice and give us the courage to respond.